everyone, thanks for stopping by. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Laurie, and today we're making these flameless farmhouse light the way home candles. I got most of my supplies at the Dollar Tree, and I will list everything that you'll need below. I'm not sure if I ever mentioned that my husband is a captain on the fire department, and that's right, Captain Bly, for all you Mutiny on the Bounty fans out there. We've always been extremely fire conscious in our family, so I thought this would be a great alternative to it in a place instead of an open flame candle. I'd so love to have you as a member of my YouTube family, so don't forget to click that little subscribe button below.
We're going to begin with 3 of the 8.5-inch tall gift boxes with lids, and then we're just going to remove the ribbons. When you're done, remove the covers. I'm painting one cover in the white Waverly chalk paint. I'm then painting the other 2 covers in the black Waverly chalk paint. There may be a bit of sticker residue from the ribbons on your bases, so you can just basically rub that off. Then using the same white paint, you're going to paint 2 of the bases white. And then using the same black paint, you're going to paint your last base black. We're then going to use the 1-inch puffy letter stickers. I placed the words "Light the Way" on a piece of waxed paper. Using my black chalk paint, I painted the word "the," and using my white chalk paint, I painted the words "light" and "way." For this project, you're going to need 3 of the LED flickering tea light candles and 3 of the LED night lights. I'm using some yellow and white acrylic paint. The yellow is just a little too bright, so I'm kind of cutting the color with the white. And once I come up with the color that I like, you're then going to paint the inside of the night lights. And once you do that, you're then going to paint all the outside with the exception of the back of the tea lights. I don't paint the back of the tea lights because it's important to have the little switch be able to move up and down, and if you paint it, the paint may clog it up, and then you'd be in some trouble. And now that the letters are dry, we're going to attach them to the covers. The back of the letters are slightly sticky, but I'm going to use some of the Aleene's tacky glue to make sure that they secure tightly. The covers measure 2 inches, so I used my ruler to find the middle 1-inch mark on the cover. And then I just placed my letter to try to make sure I was centering it in the middle of the 2 inches. I then took a paintbrush and painted some of the Aleene's glue on the back of the letters to make sure that they were tightly secured against the cover. After the word "light" was complete, I then used the word "the" and I placed that on the white cover. I followed the same instructions using my ruler to find the center point of the cover. I then finished up with the word "way" to complete the wording "light the way." We're going to place the covers onto the opposite color of the base. And here comes the fun part. We're going to speckle the boxes with the black Waverly chalk paint. I just dip my paintbrush in the paint, kind of tap it off a little bit, and then using my wooden spoon, I just start tapping randomly away over all of the boxes, making sure that I include the letters. Once the front is dry, I then speckle the sides and the back. And once the black paint is dry, I then follow the exact same instructions using my white Waverly chalk paint. And there's not too much white or too much black paint, speckled, it's whatever your preference is. I found these 3 stretchy black and white headbands in the ribbon department at Walmart. I think they're kids size. Using the opposite color, I slipped one over each of the candle base. I then used my hot glue gun to secure the bands, placing a little dab of hot glue on the very back. And once that was complete, I then used my glue gun to attach them together. I just ran a little bead of glue on each side and then kind of pressed them together where I wanted them to be attached. I'm then using this black and white ribbon and just running it around the base of all 3 of the candles. I just made sure it was centered in the middle of all 3 of the headbands, and then I just hot glued it together. And now we're going to make some little bows for the front. I used about 6 inches of the ribbon, and I just simply kind of folded it over itself and figured out about how big that I wanted the bows, and it was about 6 inches worth of ribbon. I used the first ribbon as my guide so that I had 2 pieces of ribbon, and then I simply just folded it in half to find the center point, and then I kind of folded it into itself to make a little bow using my hot glue to secure it all together. And once the bows were complete, I just opened up the little ends of the ribbon, making some open little loops. I then used a little piece of twine and simply tied the 2 bows together. I cut off the excess twine and then I used my glue gun to attach the bows to the front of the ribbon on the candles. I found this sign at the Dollar Tree and I simply detached the little tin word home. I used a piece of twine and just slipped it through the little hole at the top and tied it on. I then slipped the twine underneath the front headband and I tied it on around the ribbon. After tying it on the top, I then flipped it over, making sure the twine was behind the ribbon, and I tied another knot underneath to secure the little sign onto the ribbon. Using about 4 inches of ribbon, I made 1 additional bow to put on the front of the candles. I followed the same instructions as before, and once the ribbon was done, I simply glued it over where the twine had attached the little home sign onto the other bows. And now we're going to attach the tea lights to the top, making sure that the switch is at the very top of the tea light. I just used some hot glue and secured each of the lights to the very top of the candles, making sure that the tea lights were pressed against the back rim of the top. I then ran some hot glue on the bottom of the night light that we painted, and I just simply placed that against the tea light. And now the candles are almost complete. And now to cover the bases of the nightlight, I just used some of my ribbon and kind of judged exactly how much I would need. I used the first ribbon as my guide and cut 2 more ribbons out. I then used my glue gun to run a little bead of glue on the top of one of the ribbons and then just folded it in half. Placing the folded side up, I simply ran the little ribbon around the base of the nightlight, attaching it with my glue gun. I did this for all 3 of the nightlights, and this completed the project. To illuminate your candles and light the way home, simply slide the on switch on the back of your tea lights.
Thanks for hanging out with me, and if you like this DIY, I have others that I will list right after I say goodbye. But I did want to take this opportunity to say thank you to all my subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I love reading your comments. And if you haven't yet subscribed, make sure you hit that little subscribe button below. Bye, everybody!